Happy Monday, S.H.R.E.D Nation. Welcome back to the show. It's episode 119 of the School of S.H.R.E.D, brought to you by the Online Health Academy. Today is the last day, your last chance to get 20% off of enrollment over at www.theschoolofshred.com. How's everybody doing? Did you have a good weekend? I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be talking about how to keep it fun, because we want to be keeping our routines fun, especially if we want them to be long-term. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go over some ways that we can keep things fun. Before we begin the show, just quick housekeeping. The show is here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We're also on Spotify and iTunes. If you just look up The School of S.H.R.E.D, you will find that there. As you guys jump on, throw a flex emoji in the comments. Say what's up. Let me know how you're doing. If anybody's new for the first time jumping on here, let me know where you're at, where you're located. We like to see where our big S.H.R.E.D family is located all over the globe. All right. So today we're going to be talking about keeping it fun, because keeping it fun, I think, is pretty important. If you want to see long-term success with your health and fitness endeavors, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and now it brings me much enjoyment and a lot of fun. Exercise is fun, and there's some ways that we can do a little fun stack. So we look forward to our program, so we're more likely to stay on beat, on task, on task, where we need to be. So the first thing that I'm going to get into, I got about 5 points I'm going to go over real quick for you, just for you to consider. Keep your program fun. You know, when you're focusing on enjoyment, it's going to ensure that you develop the lifestyle side of this thing. You know, we hear that a lot, that exercise and health and fitness is a lifestyle. Well, you know, a lifestyle has to be something you look forward to. And so we have to seek enjoyment. And so I'm going to talk about some things today that you need to tweak and figure out what is best for you, what is best for you right now. It will surely change over your time, you know, pursuing, you know, different exercises, different exercise techniques, workout splits, nutrition programming, and the like. So the first thing that you should consider is listening to music. So this is something that always makes it fun for me. I'm a big musician. I like music a lot. So listening to music, sometimes that motivates me. It gives me the extra boot when I'm not feeling like I want to work out. I'll find a good album that I'm inspired by, and I will listen to that. That can help keep things fun, interesting, and help keep you engaged. And furthermore, if there's an audio book that you're into, or you want to learn something on a certain subject in your life that you like, that's relevant to you, you can have the audio book time while you're exercising. That keeps things fun. This has really carried me through, you know, specifically when I first started working out, you know, when it was hard and I didn't really want to go, and I started to realize that this process was going to be a little bit longer than I anticipated. This process of transforming my body to where I wanted it to be and transforming my health, and then realizing that it needed to be a lifestyle. I wasn't going to be able to get away with not working out anymore at any point. I've told you all the story of that, right? When I first started working out when I was 18 years old, I thought I'd just work out for like 6 months, and as soon as you got in shape, you didn't have to work out anymore. It doesn't really work like that. But I was young and dumb. So anyway, this music thing has really helped me out big time. Having music on, or, you know, whatever it is for you. I mean, you might like an audiobook. I do audiobooks sometimes, depending on how I'm exercising. I usually do audiobooks if I'm doing some type of cardio. And I usually do music if I'm hitting them weights. So that's the first thing to try, is listen to music that you enjoy, or a good audiobook that keeps it fun. Number 2 is find what activity you like to do. Find what activity you like to do. So, you know, here's the thing. You gotta exercise. If you really want to be healthy, there's things you have to do. Like, you have to put some form of resistance through your body if you want your muscles to be strong and you want to improve your bone mineral density. You got to find an activity that's going to get you moving so you can burn some calories and just increase your overall burn as far as like a cardiovascular workout, right? You got to do some type of movement. So then you have resistance training and cardio. But within those two sectors of exercise, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. I used to do a lot of like walking on the treadmill or on a cardio apparatus like a bike or elliptical or a Stairmaster. I used to do a lot of that when I first got into exercising. And because I didn't have any other tools or hobbies developed around the cardio side of the house. Well, since then, I used to use music for that to do that, to amp myself up. But since then, I've done all sorts of activities for regular cardiovascular exercise, like basketball, which, yes, is a sport. I've done basketball, I've done boxing, so like hitting the heavy bag, doing rounds on that. And then over the last, almost 3 years, I've been doing jujitsu as my form of cardio. And then walking, you guys hear me talk about walking a lot I think everybody should walk more. I think that's something that we could all do, and we could all have a minimum daily requirement for step counts. Come hell or high water, we get outside, we get some fresh air, we get in nature. I'm big on that stuff that we talk a lot about holistic health on this show. And, it's getting some sun exposure or even that outdoor light on your face, getting some fresh air, in the summer months, getting your bare feet, on the ground and getting some vitamin G, and all that can come about with steps. And so, I like that, but it can change as time goes on. So for instance, today I started to calm down now, but it was really nasty. So I didn't do my morning walk this morning, but it looks like it's going to be a nice day. So I'm probably going to go knock that out this afternoon, go for my nice hour and a half walk and get 8,000 to 10,000 steps. But, on sometimes, I don't walk. Then I'll go out and I will go downstairs and I'll jump on my bike. I have a exercise bike. I might do that for cardio for a few weeks and watch something that's going to feed my mind. So I do a lot of my personal training and continuing education stuff when I'm on the bike downstairs. And then sometimes I don't do either of those, and then I'm rolling jujitsu every day. So, or hitting a heavy bag. So finding what you like to do keeps things fun. Okay, that's what keeps things fun. That's number 2. It's just finding the activity. Looking at my notes here. You're just finding your favorite flavor. All right. One of my mentors said this, that everybody's got a different flavor. Everybody's got a different flavor that they like. So there was a TED talk on consistency of pasta sauces that this mentor was telling all of us students about. And he was saying that, some people, they like chunky pasta sauce. Some people, they like very thin pasta sauce with no chunks in it. And so exercise is the same way. Right? And even eating is the same way. It's, everybody's got their own flavor that they're going to like. Some people are going to lean more towards maybe an aerobic type activity. Some people are going to lean more towards lifting weights as an activity. I think they're both important in a full, well-rounded program for health and wellness. And don't fight what you like to do. Now, I'm not a huge fan of having a full-blown sport activity be your primary form of exercise personally, just because I think that we need to be very intelligent about how we put force through the body. It's one of the most important things that we could do. For instance, I would not use rolling jujitsu to keep me in shape and keep my muscles in shape. It's a sport, and sports are the reason we need sports medicine. And so I lift weights as a form of exercise because exercise is supposed to be the medicine. Exercise is medicine, in my opinion. I'm training clients in person. I'm treating resistance training as medicine, all right, for the body, because when we strengthen muscles in a methodical way, it protects joints, it protects bones. It actually creates more health. When we do things like maybe go play pickup basketball for a couple hours a day, we have the likelihood of rolling our ankles or throwing a lot of forces through our knees, which can maybe cause chondromalacia and some arthritic changes in the structure over time. So some people argue, well, that's going to happen in life. It can happen quicker if you're not putting force in an intelligent way through your body. You could even do this with weightlifting. So just weightlifting doesn't mean that you're saving this, but that's my personal preference on it. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is is just getting off the couch and doing something. At a certain point, I'm all in for exercise to a given degree. So like anything in life, there's a gradient, there's a continuum. And, so for me, I encourage people to do methodical weightlifting in a smart manner, slow, controlled reps, picking the right exercise, understanding resistance profiles and strength profiles is kind of what I do with people. But if something like a sport activity or something like that, you want to go play kickball and that gets your steps up, then you go play kickball, because anything's better than nothing. We have to remember that. Okay. There might just be things we could debate on, maybe are a little healthier and such, but to a certain degree, it's all healthy. The human body was meant to move. And then when it comes to resistance training, you have general weightlifting. That's kind of for that the medicinal purposes of trying to, add muscle tissue and keep the system strong and healthy. Then you have bodybuilding splits, which is very similar to that, but it can also start to take a corner where it's about putting as much muscle as humanly possible on. And a lot of times in that community, you'll see fast reps, super high volume stuff, and a lot of times inertia is in full effect there. So that can be, it falls more into a sport specific type training, in my opinion. And then you have powerlifting, very heavy rep schemes. And a lot of these, they could just be rep schemes. It could be doing a cycle of training, you're doing 3x15 on everything. So you're working more of this, anaerobic threshold, glycolytic type lactic acid zones, where you're building up lactic acid, increasing your lactic acid threshold for a given period of time. You're getting that pump and then depump. That's what Arnold used to talk about. And you do yourself a favor today if you want to have a laugh. It's just YouTube Arnold Schwarzenegger and the pump. I'm sure you'll find some really funny stuff on YouTube. And then you have powerlifting, which, like 5x5s or 3x5s. I mean, or 6x3s, whatever, 6 sets of 3. Really heavy loading schemes. I'd recommend being very proficient in these lists before you start loading. But I'm just saying, for the sake of example here, resistance training comes in many different forms. You have things like CrossFit that people love, and so finding your flavor is crucial to keeping things fun. And a lot of times switching that flavor up from time to time is going to help drastically as well. Something that we're all kind of going through if the gyms are shut down right now, which hopefully they won't be too much longer. But, we're having to explore bodyweight exercise for the first time. I think that's new for people, but bodyweight exercise is super effective, and you're really just focused on lots of volume. I mean, you're going to do more volume just because if you don't have additional forces, it's harder to load heavy. So there's ways that you could do it, but bodyweight exercise right now is another great form of resistance. Air squat, push-ups, crunches, things like that. If you want to start doing more metabolic stuff, and kind of systemically challenging exercise, you could throw burpees in, things like that. So, those are all great. For me personally, I go back and forth on all this stuff. After creating, kind of the body and whatnot that I wanted, throughout my 20s, it's like now it's all about having fun and trying different things out, keeping my body healthy. I look at when I'm hitting the weight room as a very medicinal type exercise thing. When I'm doing a lot of, calisthenics and bodyweight stuff from home, I might be thinking more of the external performance side of the house, where I'm worried about rep schemes and I'm trying to get this metabolic response going. A lot of times those workouts are 15 to 30 minutes because they're so intense. I can do that from home, or I might have something like jujitsu or hitting a heavy bag, or there's so many awesome things you can do with exercise. In the summertime, you can go hiking. I live in Seattle. Lots of great hikes, as you start going over the mountains. So whatever your thing is, whatever your gig is, you got to find that out, and it keeps things fun. So the next thing, number 3, is going to be switch your routine up and try new routines. So this kind of leads into that, what I was just talking about with the pasta sauce. Everybody likes different flavors, right? So some people don't know what flavor they like until they try it. Think about that. Marinate on that one. So if you try different forms of exercise out, you might not know that there's something out there that actually you will like better. So switching things up is great. It keeps things fresh. It keeps things rewarding. And that's really what we're getting around to here is your exercise program, your eating program has to be rewarding. And I have to do things myself certain times of the year. I've noticed I get into different habits, or I'll get, I'll try new things out, because even after doing this for a long period of time, these healthy habits that become habits, they start to almost feel unhealthy just because you tune out. That's kind of what I mean by that. It's like you feel like you're not trying hard enough because things become habits, and you're like, well, geez, I don't know, this, eating this kind of paleo way all the time, I want to change something up and add something. And so you kind of continue to want to up the ante. And I think that's just part of having a growth mindset, which, people who are in shape tend to have growth mindsets. And it's switching the routine up and trying different things out and subjecting yourself to new and interesting things, whether that be with diet and trying new things out. Maybe you're trying fasting for a while. Maybe you're throwing back in meal frequency for a while. Maybe, you're switching your macronutrient composition around the way that you're eating, or maybe it's with exercise. Maybe you start doing full body, high intensity interval training for a month, and then you get back to maybe a different type of a split where you're lifting heavy, you're going slow and methodical, all that kind of stuff. Maybe you just want to work on, doing some striking stuff and doing heavy bag work for a month. Whatever it is, it's if you keep switching it up, you'll find things you like. And what you might just find is that variety of switching things up every month, every 2 months, and you focus on the principle of living an active lifestyle more than marrying one modality of training, you might just find that it keeps things fun and it keeps you invested in this thing long term. So try these different things out. Number 4 that I have on here is going to be take time off when needed. All right, take time off when needed. I think this is important when we train super hard, especially, the more advanced you are, the easier it is to overtrain yourself. And what I mean by overtrain is overtax the nervous system. You can do methodical overreaching periods. I have clients do that with lifting. Sometimes then we take little deloads and whatnot. Specifically if their goal is hypertrophy. If I have, a 70-year-old with knee replacements who needs to get stronger, obviously that programming is way different. Everything's custom fit to the individual, as it should be. But the overreaching thing can help. But with that said, if you're getting after it and you're trying to build muscle and burn body fat, chances are you're taking in less calories than you're burning. All right, so we have that going, which is how you lose body fat. One of the ways. And then we also have, probably exercising super hard. So what happens when we're doing that is we start to really wear the body down. We wear the nervous system down. Your nervous system fatigue transfers over from day to day. So you might train chest today and decide to train back tomorrow, right? Say you're doing some single muscle group split. All right, so tomorrow the chest, you're not hitting it. So, you're not challenging that too much. You're hitting a different muscle, right? So everything should be fresh. Well, the nervous system is getting pummeled again the next day. So what we have to kind of consider here is that the central nervous system is like the amplifier and the muscles are like your speakers, okay? The amplifier is what controls the speakers. So what I mean by that is if the chest is one speaker and the back is another speaker, just because you're switching speakers doesn't mean you have to use the same amplifier, which is the central nervous system. So for this reason, if you're training really hard and then all of a sudden a couple months in, you start to notice you're not motivated, you're really tired, you're fatigued all the time. You could be just needing to take some time off from everything. It could be a little bit of seasonal depression or, seasonal blues and whatnot, which is also fine. At that point, I would say just try to get your steps up. Take a week off. There's nothing wrong with that. If you make a commitment to yourself today that you're going to exercise the rest of your life in one way or another, then what difference does it make if you take a week off? It doesn't matter. I just took 6 months off of martial arts, which, I mean, it's super tough to get back into it now, because it's humbling because, I just haven't been doing it. But I've always told myself I'm never going to stop. So even through all the time that I had to invest in building this business online and, being preoccupied with life for a little bit, I always knew I was going to go back. So if you just commit to yourself today that you will exercise hell or high water, then it doesn't matter if you take a week off, right? It doesn't matter if you have to take a month off. What happens if you get an injury and you got to get a surgery in your life? Because it very well could happen. That's okay to take some time off, Just promise to yourself, make a promise to yourself that you will get back at it. So, but even with that said, even if it's more moderate than that, or it just taking a week off or a couple of days off if you need it, go ahead and take that time off. You'll recover and then you can come back charged. There's a difference between being disciplined and then really just running your body into the ground and your recovery into the ground. And that can actually hurt your immune system. And, especially with the way the world's going right now, we want a strong, healthy immune system. And so exercise and diet can help that, but you just have to get good at knowing intuitively when you should take some time off. And again, this keeps things fun because maybe you take a week off and you knock out a couple, books that you've been wanting to read, or you invest time in a hobby like playing an instrument. And so instead of that workout time, now you're able to, invest in an instrument. You just zigzag in life. That to me is holistic health and fitness. That is somebody who it's okay to take a week off. You're not stressing about it. You don't have disordered behavior. Disordered behavior is when you lose a little bit of control of something and then it spins you out completely. You should be mentally and spiritually fit enough that you can take a week off if you need to. And you might just find you take less time off when you're that flexible with your program. So that's number 4, is take time off when needed. And number 5 is involve others. So this is a good one as well. Speaking of, me getting back into martial arts, is this community aspect of anything. That's why I created the School of S.H.R.E.D Online Health Academy, to be a classroom type structure where we're all together and we all have to share our weekly assignments together and go over our triple set habit formations, which is a technique that I designed for the program, where you examine your belief patterns, you come up with solutions to those belief patterns that might be holding you back, and then you figure out the times that you can implement the new technique, whatever it is. And this is huge. I got this from the martial arts community of the shared suffering, I guess you could say. Shared suffering creates a bond unlike any other. You're going to war together. So, and find your community wherever that's at. That's why CrossFit is so big, is because there's a community there. You show up to go work out with your friends every day. This is why we're finding solutions now with things like Zoom video chat, so we could at least be together while we're through this little speed bump here in civilization, so we can hang out and kind of go over things or do classes together. Like I said, jiu-jitsu is kind of my deal, and it's like those classes are amazing because you're with people, you're with like-minded individuals. So find your community. That can really help. Involve others, involve your partner, your spouse, your friends, your kids. When I work out at home, I got my dogs that like to hang out by me, whatever it is, because that can keep things fun. Like when I'm around friends, when I'm working out, I'm cracking jokes, having a good time, you're laughing. It's getting you in that flow state. You're not thinking about all maybe the stressors you got going on in your life. So again, involving others can definitely keep things fun. So that is it for episode 119. Calling this one Keep It Fun of the School of S.H.R.E.D. So today's the last day that you can take advantage of my 20% off coupon. It's 20% off enrollment for your first 90 days at the School of S.H.R.E.D Online Health Academy. The code is JRF20. At checkout, you'll get 20% off of your first 90 days at the school of weekly assignments. You'll be assigned to a class. You'll have study buddies. You'll have that community that I'm kind of talking about here with the involving others. You're going to have exercise plans to do. You're going to have nutrition plans, custom nutrition that we're going to be going over, because, you're going to have, actual live access to me every week. We'll be talking and chatting and stuff like that on weekly phone calls and on our weekly chat page for the classroom. So this is an incredible offer. This is great online personal training. So take advantage of it. This is our Cyber Monday special. Last day for it is 20% off. So JRF20 at checkout. Go to theschoolofshred.com. That's www.theschoolofshred.com. Sign up and ask any questions you have. Let's start getting ready for a Q&A Friday. We were a little bit light last week because of the holidays, but now we're back to it. So with that, I want you to stay strong and healthy in body, stay relentless and energized in spirit, and stay determined in your pursuits today, school. That's spell S.H.R.E.D. Now go shred the day and get better in every way. Until next time, class is dismissed. Have a good day.